So here I am with my little lady and Shirley doll and Effanbee. She's a wartime doll, so I place her more between 1940 and 1945, I'm sorry. And I just wanted to give an update on the progress that I've made with her. You can see I haven't gotten her body together yet, but what I did get is the cord to put her together, and I got a 1/8 inch cord, so she will need to be restrung, which will happen very soon. And I began organizing the mohair for her wig. Now, it would be great if I could, well, first of all, this wig, as I showed you in the first video, is deteriorated quite a bit. You can see the crown of the head. That's not going to work. I mean, and the style, it's human hair, which is pretty cool, but I can't, it's hard to find a human hair wig from 80 years ago that's in any kind of good condition that was taken off a doll. Most of them that I've seen are sparse and just have, the time has taken a toll on them. So mohair was another fiber that they used to make wigs. And so what I did was I got some new mohair, and I'm going to make a wig, which will, I can't remember if I know I found old wigs for the dolls that I've refurbished in the past, but not from this beginning with just getting a strand of roving and making it, cutting it, and sewing it to buckram, which I got here too in my collection of items which I need to get going on this project. So the mohair will be sewn to the buckram. The buckram will be molded to her head. Now, I was a little concerned, you know, it's a natural concern with the composition. They don't like to get wet. And what I love about this doll, even though she lost a finger on both hands, and that's the way it's going to be, that she's gonna have two arms that are missing, or two hands that are missing a finger, namely because, well, first of all, I don't have an airbrush to spray paint her, and matching the color would be very hard for me, and that's kind of important in my mind, is to match the color. It stands out too much unless I do the whole doll, and I don't want to airbrush a whole doll that has no cracking, no crazing, and is 80 years old. So I'm just thrilled at the condition her body is in. I also looked at on eBay getting another composition doll because I was a little bit concerned with the head and working with the buckram, which has to be damp to mold to her head, and I don't want to get her head wet. So I toyed with the idea of buying another doll that I could use the head. It didn't need to be in good condition or whatever. Most of the dolls that I see that are on eBay have a lot of cracking and crazing, and the faces are pretty messed up. They have cracks around the eyes. The paint is chipping and falling off, so I wouldn't have had any problem with getting it wet and it getting more messed up, because it's messed up to begin with. But I opted, or I am opting, to just use saran around her head, be sure to spray the buckram and get it damp, which is all I need, is to get it damp, mold it to her head, and then take it off, and when it dries, it dries in the molded shape, and then you begin to sew from a long weft here, which is what I have to make with the mohair, is a weft sewn onto the buckram, and then cut at the bottom like you would hair, and styled into the style that I want in the period of the 40s, which this does give me a roadmap at least of what I want it to look like. Plus I've gotten a good amount of pictures of pretty wigs on dolls that have survived the test of time. As I mentioned, this doll was made, I'm placing it between 1940 and 1945, and that's 80 years old. And before you know it, she's going to be an antique. So while I'm calling her vintage now, it's not very long away. This is March of 2022. It won't be too long before she is an antique. So what else I found for her? I got the buckram, I got the mohair, I got some little shoes. These aren't vintage either. These I found at a doll part store. So I'd love to find a pair of shoes on eBay. I'm still going to keep looking, but in the meantime, the ones that I've seen have been, the straps have been beat up or torn, and I would prefer to have a shoe that's in one piece. These are leather, they're cute, and I may find hose for instead of the socks. The socks are putting her a little bit younger than if I gave her hose, I think, but I may do both of them. Have a pair of hose, pair of socks. So what else, let's see, that I've gotten that I'm excited about is a pattern for what I want to make first for her, because I hope to make more than one outfit for this particular doll where she can be changed. And this particular pattern is vintage from the 40s, and it's made specifically for this doll. What we have here is, well, you can see a little suit and the type of skirt that was being worn in the 40s. Then we have a little slip and panties there, which is cool because right now she's, as you can see, naked. And so I want to find some satin, I think, or some silk for that. If I can find it on eBay, that'd be great. She's got a negligee there, and then of course you can see the wedding gown, the dress. What I wanted to make first is the panties and the slip, and I'm thinking I'm gonna make the negligee first. And one of the things that's, you know, when you're looking for fabric, it kind of informs you on what you want to do, or which particular outfit you want. This outfit, I'm so thrilled with my find today in Ybor City. I'm in Florida, and this particular fabric is a dress, a communion dress actually, that's a beautiful lace, vintage, that will go great, I think, as a negligee. If I have satin or silk panties underneath. You can see here is organdy, which I love working with organdy. I just like everything about it, the feel of it, the crispness. I'm gonna have fun using that. And I don't know exactly what I'm gonna use that for. Maybe incorporate it into the bridal gown underneath to give it a little bit of fullness that you saw in the pattern. And I also got with it, because it's a communion dress, but I can cut it up and get the amount of fabric that I need for this 18-inch doll. As sad as it is to cut something up so beautiful like this, sometimes you have to tear things down and put them back together again, for lack of another word. For that, I don't tear it down. It's, you know, I'm refurbishing it into something else. But with that, what I got was a veil with the tulle, vintage tulle. And I have tulle, but it's not vintage. So just for saying, having the ability to say, oh yeah, this is vintage. I'll be using this probably later on when I get to the dress. But I like the little lace at the bottom. And what I really like is the tiara crown that she's worn. It's very similar to the tiara that's actually in the pattern picture. This will inform me on what I want to do as far as, or what I need to do to make a pattern for her. And it has the little flowers that are stood the test of time. It's got a little satin ribbon too. I don't know if I'll use organdy on that, the ribbon that I need, or satin. If I can find satin ribbon online, that'll be great. So anyway, that's about it on where I am. I am very excited to get started on this. I'm also waiting on some more mohair, because I don't feel this will be thick enough. When I cut it, it's going to straighten this to make my weft. I want a straight line, so all this is going to come off, and then this will be trimmed into her hairstyle and curled. So while this seems like a lot of mohair for this wig, it's really not if I want a nice thick wig. So we're moving along again, as I said, and I will keep you posted on the next stage, which is going to be putting her body together. Won't start sewing, I don't think, until I read this pattern. What's interesting too about this pattern here is they use different terminology. You got to remember that women at this time were taking home ec classes, and a lot of things were also understood about, oops, there's a coupon for some fabric that I want to get in there, but they had different names for what they called things. Like here on the skirt front, they call it lengthwise of goods, which nowadays they'd say put on the grain line, right? And so some of the terminology when I opened it was actually different. So I'm going to have to look at that pretty well and see what I need to do. I will give you an update where I am, as I said again, probably with getting the body together and sewing that wig and getting something on her head. And it will take me a little time to do this. I haven't done a wig from this level before. So, as I said, I'm going to be informed by the things that I get, and that'll tell me which direction I want to go in. And that's my Aunt Shirley. I really, really like her a lot. And I've had her for 20 years in a drawer and under my bed. So she's going to be a pretty little lady when I'm done with her. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.